All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to you, sincere, hopeful, elect Akim, pushing the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua in spirit and in truth. Coming back at you with another lesson. Something real quick. As you see, this is from Newsweek.com. Zelensky rejects freezing Russia war front line and blow to Donald Trump. All right. As you see here, what's up? What's new? Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has rejected the prospect of freezing the conflict started by Moscow to facilitate negotiations to end hostilities, telling French Daily Le Parisien that Donald Trump knows about my desire not to rush things at the expense of Ukraine. Newsweek has contacted the Trump team and the Russian Foreign Ministry for comments. Why it matters, it says the comments Zelensky gave Le Parisien during a question and answer on Tuesday come a month before he has to work with the incoming U.S. president, who has criticized continued American aid for Kiev and has called for a swift end to the war. Trump's transition team has been working on a plan to bring Ukraine and Russia to the negotiation table, and the president-elect hinted that both Kiev and Moscow will have to compromise. What to know? Zelensky told the Parisien resolving the war was not easy and that Trump wanted a peace deal quickly, but the Ukrainian leader said the Trump team did not yet have access to all the information from diplomatic and intelligence channels. As Zelensky said, regardless of what world leaders want, we are not just going to give in and give up our independence. The danger would be to say we freeze the war and we will come to an agreement with the Russians, he added, noting that Putin has killed many Ukrainians. Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belosov said Monday that the 4 Ukrainian regions Putin claims to have annexed Kherson, Zaporizhia, Lushnik, and Donetsk would be fully under Moscow control in 2025. But Zelensky said, according to its constitution, Ukraine cannot give up our territories, although he admitted that we don't have the strength to win them back. The diplomatic pressure was added to force Putin to the negotiation table. All right. It is more to this, but the point is that Donald Trump thought he was going to get up in the White House a second time, and just based upon him alone telling these other nations what to do, simply stating it, that these other nations are going to just comply with his demands, and that's not happening. Okay, America is no longer in a position to simply say things toward foreign countries and they actually comply and do what it is that America wants. Okay, so with that being that, this scripture here came to mind, Isaiah 33:1. It says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Now, especially with what has been happening in the Middle East, the U.S. turning a blind eye at the genocide that is being carried out amongst those people in that was on that Gaza strip. All right, all right, in Gaza. The G side that took place on them. The U.S. turned a blind eye to that. All nations turned a blind eye to that, for the most part. Okay, there's some nations that stood against that, but for the most part, all the nations turned a blind eye to that. Okay, so when the U.S. eventually tries to make peace with all the nations in the Middle East that they screwed over, or they allowed to just be oppressed by some proxy military or by the the small hats or what have you. Those nations is gonna remember all the shit that America has done. That's not just gonna be swept under the rug, and they just turn a blind eye to that. Now it's kumbaya and this new world order, everybody holding hands BS. No, they're gonna want retribution. They're gonna want payback. Okay, so we see how the U.S. is trying to save face and clean up his image, so to say, and blow that magic dust out there for the nations to be intoxicated by. All right, that wine. All right, but these nations they woke up to the fact that anything coming from America is not to be trusted. All right, and it's always some ulterior motive. So Esau in America is trying to go about not dealing so treacherously with these other nations, but this is exactly when these other nations is going to start treating America how it treated them all these years. Okay. Matter of fact, real quick, this is First Maccabees 1:7. It says, "So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule everyone in his place." Going back into history, dealing with Alexander, and his generals. Okay, after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. All right, so being that the Edomites have come into power, it's always going to be evil that's done. All right, there's always been evil taking place in the earth. With no matter who was in rulership. The only time evil wasn't like just prevalent in the earth was the 40 years of peace with King Solomon. Okay, but when Esau came into the earth, it was a noticeable change in the energy in the earth, so to say. Okay, because things just became evil. All right, and we see that now. Like everything that's in the news is just evil, just wicked. Okay. Esau tried to paint a picture of everything is fine and stuff is cool and it's not as bad as it is. But no, this is a wicked ass evil system in captivity in world that we have to suffer, man. Okay, and it's all because of the Edomites. When Esau, Edom is in power, it's naturally going to be, evil taking place in the earth. And we're at the end of, the evil reign of the Edomites, man. All right, we're in the end. All right, so now they're about to have to pay. They're about to get their comeuppance. Okay. And this is my last precept, Isaiah 57:21. It says, "There is no peace, saith my power, to the wicked." All right, so Donald Trump trying to call for negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, and down the line there's going to be more so-called negotiations of peace, and that America is going to try and facilitate between the land of Israel, the Amalekites in Israel and other nations, and Esau pretty much just trying to, or America, I should say, trying to maintain that hegemony, the hegemony. All right, but they lost it, because these nations is not going for anything that's coming from America. All right, they're about to really start, showing what stance they have toward Babylon the Great. Okay, and ultimately, the beast gonna hate the whore because of the actual nations that are members of NATO, which Ukraine isn't, but the actual nations that are members of NATO is going to eventually, push the button. All right, they're gonna push the button. So Abarazazar, that was an edifying lesson. Until next time, I say shalom.